Welcome back, Smart Nation, to another edition of our weekly webinar series. I am your host, Michael Tirado. Today we're going to discuss the art of closing a pawn loan. We'll discuss how to overcome customers' objections and find solutions for your customers' cash needs. We'll also discuss pawn law compliance and how to grow that PLO. Remember that greatness begins with our core values and standards. Let's review our loan standards for this topic. First, we must greet every customer within 5 seconds. Second, we must use probing questions to qualify the customer. Third, have the customer test the merchandise to determine if it functions properly. Fourth, explain the contract, explain the charges, and circle the due date. 5, if a customer wants to pick up their loan, politely attempt to extend the loan. And lastly, on all redeems, thank the customer, offer more money next time if applicable, and always give a loan guarantee card. Let's discuss the Military Lending Act. The Military Lending Act caps the annual percentage rate we can charge an active duty service member and their dependents. Every time we loan out money, we must verify if the customer is covered by the Military Lending Act. If they're not a covered borrower, the regular charges apply. If they are a covered borrower, we will adjust the charges accordingly. Have the customer complete the area-specific MLA verification process. This process does not apply in Canada and is only applicable in the United States. When writing pawn loans, we must ensure that we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Have all fees been charged? Are only the items we are loaning on listed on the pawn ticket? Are the items listed described correctly? And most importantly, is the contact information listed on the ticket accurate and current? This not only helps law enforcement and with compliance, but it helps us better manage our inventory and avoid unnecessary incidents with customers. When we're explaining the contract to the customer, make sure to explain all the charges and always circle the due date. Ask the borrower to verify that their information is correct. The finance charge is what you need to keep the pawn for an additional term. The amount to redeem is amount borrowed plus the pawn service charges. Set the customer up for success by circling the due date. And certain cities may require additional documentation. After we've verified the information with the customer, it's time for a signature and a fingerprint. Make sure that the customer signs where it says borrower signature and at the bottom where it says customer signature. Also, have the customer place a clear right index print or right thumbprint or whatever is required in your municipality. Some areas may not require fingerprints at all. Electronic signatures may be required in certain areas. And upon completion of the loan is a great time to introduce Podium to your customer. Explain to the customer that they may receive a text message to give us a Google review. It'll go something like this. You'll be receiving a link to leave a 5-star review. Is there any reason why I wouldn't receive a 5-star review? If the customer is unhappy, this gives us the opportunity to handle it before they leave our store. As always, thank the customer in advance for taking the time to leave a Google review. Every municipality has area-specific rules regarding pawn contracts. Depending on the city, state, or province in which your store is located, these things may vary, like the pawn loan terms and hold periods, the pawn service charges, the additional charges to the customer, like police fees, storage fees, firearm fees, or initial pawn fee. And now it's time for a quick recap. Today we discussed our loan standards. We also discussed the importance of the Military Lending Act. We discussed how to explain the contract, explain the charges, and circle the due date to set our customers up for success. We went over the importance of signing the pawn ticket and where the customers should be signing. We also discussed the Podium review invite that's going to be sent to the customer. And we also discussed the different rules regarding pawn loans, also known as area specifics. And once again, I'd like to thank everyone for taking time out of their day to listen to another edition of our weekly webinar series. I am your host, Michael Tirado. Hope everyone has a fantastic August.